People will say that I'm in a Google Ads business. And Google Ads disappears, you have no business. Say I'm a Facebook ads business. Oh, Facebook ads disappear. No, people change. People cannot change too rapidly. And AI, things like AI forces us to change much more rapidly. So sometimes it can be very disturbing and very difficult to deal with. If you're not willing to change at all, then somebody will run you over.
Based on the kind of story you've seen over the period of time, you've seen how technology has evolved. You've seen the dot-com bubble, you've seen the days prior to that. You've now that we are getting into this era of AI and all, what do you think is the most important quality in a business owner to make sure they are always in front lines with all the technological changes that are happening and making the best, getting the best out of it? What is one thing that they really should uh, hammer themselves to have that skill in them?
So when you said the question that what you said, the forefront, right? So they got to stay ahead. In the small business world, you got to stay on the forefront. And I think it goes down to very basics of business. It's nothing to do with marketing. It has nothing to do with AI. It's nothing to do with any of that, which is, this question many times people ask that, hey, what are you in business of? So in a marketing, you're a business of getting a message out, getting more sales, helping the sales team. People forget that. People will say that I'm in a Google Ads business. And Google Ads disappears, you have no business. Then they say I'm a Facebook ads business. Oh, Facebook ads disappear. No, So in our case, now we do the way I like to think of is, at least if you're saying ads, you just say you're an ads business. Technology will change how the ads will be delivered. But will ads disappear? No. If you've seen, I don't remember that it's 5 monkeys or 10 monkeys or whatever, Bruce Willis movie, um, 12 monkeys. It's a future movie. Even there are ads on the screen, right? When people are flying around. So there is no situation in the world or environment where people will not pay to get their message across through some medium. As long as you see yourself in that way, you will always look ahead. It's never going to change that somebody will produce something and they want to sell it to somebody else. So the message has to get out, right? So if you are into that business of the person who's very good at producing stuff, and then you need that message out to everybody that this product is good or this service is good, there's always work for you.
Based on what I have seen in most of the cases is, um, whenever, for example, like, think of business owner of your age, right? Anyone who has seen that much of, has had that much of success in business or have experience of managing this much business, many times people at this age, especially if the CEO is in their 50s, early 50s or late 50s, they are very much bound to the ways that they know work and not willing to change or adapt to the things that are changing. For example, there are a lot of businesses which were brick and mortar a few decades back, right? So when internet came into being, the businesses that did not go e-commerce faster are the ones that failed. So is that what you're saying? If a business owner is listening to this, are they the ones who have to really get ingrained into AI and understand how they want to change their mindset about AI? Because a lot of people are scared of AI for whatever reason, right?
So there is a more philosophical fact first. It's not the business only. A lot of people, they don't like change, or most people don't like change in general. That's a fact. And as we get older, we are more settled in our ways. So it's not uncommon for people reaching late 40s onwards and 50s. They just want to do things they used to. That's a common human nature, right? So does everybody has to change quickly? No, but some level of change is needed in life. We got to adjust. So that's, again, it's a philosophical question. Now, as a business, actually, there is two sides to this. If you are extremely change liking like me, you have a other kind of a risk. And Chin is laughing. She knows what I'm talking about. I love change. I want new stuff. There is actually other risk you run into. You're never going to be stable and making a lot of money because you are seeking the change itself is so much more important. But if that's what it is, great. That's what I like. I just need to make enough money to allow me to keep changing. I'm not recommending this lifestyle for everybody or this way of doing business. The business to make money is you have to find a stable point that I'm going to embrace change to help me grow. Then I'm going to become boring for a while and make a lot of money by being boring. Do this again and again. Money is always made by doing boring stuff. All money in the world is always made by doing boring stuff. Why boring stuff? Because most people don't want to do boring stuff. You figured out this is needed and has to be done. I'm going to do this day in out with the team. You will make a lot more money. So there's a balancing act like everything else in life. You got to, everybody has to embrace some level of change and still keep it stable enough so you can do something with it. Because otherwise, you're just look at this fact that there are so many courses and things launched every day. You could just spend all 50 hours a week just learning and never practice anything. Or you could do 50 hours a week just practicing, but stuff you're practicing might be getting obsolete soon. And if you ended up practicing the wrong thing, it's wasted. So you have to find that balance somewhere. People have talked about learning should be 20% of the part and 80% should be actually execution. I think even there, what kind of execution? Somebody like me, my execution is I want to code something new. I want to try something new. I want the latest technology, right? So I'm indirectly learning versus execution of something which makes money, which everybody needs, customers need, and things like that, right? So the answer is you got to find your sweet spot. Recognize that if you're not willing to change at all, then somebody will run you over. Things will not work out. You're going to be unhappy in life, generally speaking. If you are change seeking, yeah, you're great for startups and new ideas and everything, but you will have difficulty building big businesses. And it's not a surprise. That's why startup CEOs are not the right CEOs. The stable CEO takes over and builds a big business, right? I mean, there are rare instances, of course, people who have stabilized, right? But also that same stabilization has created the problem which we talk about, like Apple is behind in AI right now, right? It was an innovative company in AI, it's trying to catch up, right? Even in spite of all the effort, even Facebook is a little bit behind because they got very good at whatever they were doing. So there is a challenge there, right? So the answer is that yes. So for people to stay ahead, you've got to embrace level of change. You got to get comfortable with change, and that's a life lesson, I think, not just business. The level where you'll go, you can decide what you're comfortable with, but you got to do some level. And I guess I'll just go back to that. This term for last year, I've been using the Overton window. Even business has every business owner also has an Overton window. Your beliefs can change only so much over time. This is used usually for political situations, but people cannot change too rapidly. And AI, things like AI forces us to change much more rapidly. So sometimes it can be very disturbing and very difficult to deal with. But then there are people like, to me, it's like freaking, I was going to die if AI had not happened 3 years back because I would have think, man, it's same boring marketing every day. What is new to do? And suddenly as we are pivoting now to actually implementing AI less than marketing, we are actually doing implementation of AI solutions now.